Okay. We're I was gonna say either we're back or welcome back. Welcome back. Morse Code Podcast, episode 143, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay. Um, episode 143. Gonna pick up where we left off on some of our Halloween talk, some other things going on. As always, proudly brought to you by Cold River Vodka. I was just scrolling through Twitter. This is really funny. Good mutual friend of the program, Justin Lang. I just saw a tweet he put out. That's pretty funny to read out loud. It's a quote tweet of a tweet he already said. He was watching The Lion King. Something about Mufasa and Scar. He goes, let me read this out laughing. He goes, in a lot of ways, Scar reminds me of a more clever version of my Uncle Tony, minus the rampant alcoholism and the time in the time he threatened to scalp himself at family Christmas when I was 10. That's good stuff. I'd like to get both of them back on the show soon. Uncle Tony?
Yeah.
We'll see if Justin listens to the show this week or not. Anyway, you were at the Celtics game last night, no?
Yeah.
How's that? Looked like good seats.
Yeah, it was. I just happened to be looking at like ticket prices and knew that it was a Wednesday night against the Wizards, so I was just kind of curious if it was going to be a little cheaper, and it was.
Did you just buy them yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was like cheap seats all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Great game.
Seats were good. Game was terrible.
Yeah, that was not great. We're not going to get too much into sports today. Don't want to disappoint our Halloween listeners. Our annual Halloween listeners.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, sometimes that product really just rots on the court.
It sure does.
Yeah. Yeah, like oh man. I'm kind of disappointed.
That's the thing with sports and attending them live.
Yeah.
You buy money,
buy
money, you spend money on a ticket, and then sometimes the game is good. Sometimes, and I know you're sitting down, which is a good thing. Sometimes the game is bad.
For sure. Like I'll take,
and you can't get your money back.
That'd be interesting. Like if you could buy like loss insurance, like on your tickets, or like just bad game insurance. That's a really good idea. Like if they win, you just the company just makes a premium. If they lose, or if it's like you hit certain like things, you get like a refund.
Have you ever? Yeah. Interesting.
I guess it's kind of like gambling insurance, like hedging your bet. But I don't know, you would hedge your Celtics ticket.
Yeah,
when you bought another event on the same night and like left at halftime to go to the event you knew was going to be good.
When you play blackjack and the dealer shows an ace, you know how they ask you for if you want insurance afterwards?
Yes.
Is that something that like Liberty Mutual or Geico offers?
Most household names do. What people don't know is like a lot of those blackjack dealers are like newer agents who are just trying to build up like their pipeline and get some, referral business out in the field. So
that's what they call low hanging fruit in the sales world.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny. I wonder if that would ever be the case. No, I'm good. Thanks. Hit me. I have a good relationship with my agent. I'll split those though. Thanks.
Picture the dealer going through and like just in a typical sales job asking you like open-ended questions like you sure about this? Who else in your family?
Okay.
How big's your family?
Those, yeah. While I'm splitting those, if you don't mind putting down 5 names of people you might think would benefit from talking to me. Yeah, I don't know. Going back to the Celtics game real quick, dude, you nailed it the other day I think it was after we talked about the first game when Jason Tatum was like, yeah, like after the Knicks game, like, yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen again. It's definitely going to happen again. And it's happened again. It's a roller coaster.
It's going to keep on happening.
Like there's going to be multiple like 0 for 7, 1 for 9 evenings. And it's just going to get washed away because he'll drop 40 against like the Rockets a handful of times over the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that blows. I think you were the one. Were you also the one who said like Marcus Smart hitting that 3-point shot was the worst thing to ever happen to Celtics offense this year?
I think you said that.
Yeah, I still stand by that. That stinks. Boy, he takes and misses a lot of shots. But intangibles.
Yeah.
Difference maker on the court.
That's not even fair. We can measure all this the bad stuff, but like the supposed good stuff, well, there's no we can't quantify that.
Correct. I think it's early, but I've come to the conclusion. I think Josh Richardson stinks. I don't like watching him at all. He blows.
Yeah.
Al Horford's the best power forward in the NBA, so that's nice. Schroeder looks pretty good. Rob Williams is good till he gets hurt. And that's my Celtics take so far.
I don't like that Peyton Pritchard and Neesmith haven't played. They didn't play last night.
DNPs.
Yeah.
That's something's up with that.
A lot of that has to do with, or like those minutes are going to your boy, Josh Richardson.
Correct. I think you got like 15 minutes last night. Far too many. I know he didn't score. I saw that this morning. That's never good for a guard, I would say. Yeah, those just straight up do not plays are interesting. I did not see that coming I knew when Josh Richardson came back, there'd be some depth, things you got to do, but I think that's what they were going to do. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know.
Did you hear
they're already talking about splitting up Tatum and Brown on every like radio show I listen to, which I just can't keep. I can't do that shit again all year. I'd honestly rather do that than have to listen to it like all year. And I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Did you hear the quotes from the coach afterwards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not
great.
Not pleased.
Like, even if it's one thing,
he's not pleased. I mean,
yeah, it's
You're
one
saying
thing
you don't
for
like
him.
The quotes.
Yeah, I don't like that it made it like to the media. I don't think that he should be saying that stuff. But the fact that he does have to say that stuff about like, I don't think that the focus was there. I told them at shoot around that if you guys play like this, you're gonna get your ass kicked, and then they did.
And they did. Yeah.
Not great, especially 5 games. Like, this is supposedly a player's coach, and it's already reminding me a little bit of Brad Stevens again. Not in terms of the quote, but like how they treat him if he's just like not got control of them.
I think that's still to be seen because it is early, and I do get he's a new coach. I mean, I was talking to someone today. My goal is like, if as long as they can hover around 500 to like Christmas, and then maybe put together a run around like the All-Star break, that would help. But the two of these games in 5 or 6 games so far, that's not great. I heard an interesting one on 98.5 today. They were talking about what you were just talking about, how they're kind of a little laggy at practice and stuff like that. And they were hinting at perhaps like they went out the night before or something. And then they also said on the other side, Bradley Beal had a terrible game as well. And they were like, oh, maybe they went out with Bradley Beal, and I don't know, maybe him and Jason Tatum like stayed up all night, like slept over or something, and then like played poorly in the game. They were terrible today. Oh boy, I put it on for like half an hour. It was that, and then I heard Felger talking about. He's like, well, like I'm just gonna say it. Like, what were Steph Curry and Klay Thompson doing in this situation? They're winning like 73 games and winning championships. Like, should Brown and Tatum be doing that? And I was like, oh, geez. Like, what,
damn.
I can't do that this year if that's what we're looking at.
Yeah. That seems a little unfair.
That's a little, that's kind of a stretch. And he even corrected himself. He's like, well, maybe not, because Steph Curry is a generational player. But what is Jason Tatum? And I was like, he's not Steph Curry. Like, I don't follow Mike. Is pretty much what I was trying to get at. But anyway, what else? We'll save it for later, I guess.
Tatum got the technical.
Yeah, that's not great.
Dude, seeing that in person is pretty funny. Also pretty frustrating, because it happened on my side of the court when it happened. And he had like bitched on the previous play where I want to say that he went like up and under for a layup, missed it, thought he got fouled. And then he did one of those like kind of like shoot away the referee or whatever, and was like, nah, like I can't believe that you didn't call that. The other team goes down, whatever possession happens, Celtics come back up. And I think something similar happened on a second straight play, or he was just still complaining about the first one. And the referee had already kind of let him go after the first one. And they were just like, no, fuck this. We've heard enough.
Seriously, I've heard enough. Like, that
on 0.
That hasn't gotten better at all.
No.
Like him, like bitching. I thought that was one of the steps he was going to take. Like maybe get some help in that department. Not get some help. Maybe like help himself in that department. That's just as bad. Like that's just as bad. It hurts. It kills your transition defense. Even if it's a stoppage of time, it just looks shitty. It's like, come on, bro. Like you're in the league. You know how this goes. Like you're not going to get those calls yet. Whether you should or shouldn't, you're not going to get those calls. James Harden isn't getting those calls. You're not going to get those calls. But yeah, that's frustrating. It's just so much more of the same. And I get it. I don't know how long you can say it's early. Like, what is it? They're 2-3. 5 games, and then they play the Wizards again late. I think tomorrow or Saturday. I'd like to win that game. And then I don't know. Like I said, I'll see where they're at. If they're hovering around 500 at Christmas, I guess I'll take it. But the thing is, like, dude, the East is very deep this year, as they were last year. But the teams that I thought were going to be good turn out to be pretty good. Like Chicago, Charlotte looks pretty good. New York's still good. Atlanta's still pretty good. Bucks are still pretty good. Nets stink. We'll probably finish in the bottom tier of the league. And who else? Sixers, I don't even know. I saw a tweet today that Ben Simmons showed up at practice today. And the literal quote was like, showed up at practice and was seen shooting. So I think that's good. I don't know.
The rest of the tweet that got cut off was shooting himself. A commercial.
Oh yeah.
In favor of player empowerment.
Yeah. I did not see that part. Typical lib. I just read the headline and went with it.
Yeah.
You know who's not going to like that at all. Oh, speaking of headlines, this is what I wrote down. Do you see that story that came out that NBA on TNT is pulling the Thursday night game until Thursday night football is done?
Yeah.
That's not that's not great. Like those primetime Lakers games can't compete with like Jaguars Browns like on a weekly basis.
I didn't understand that. Like the NFL did Adam Silver like not hear of the NFL until a couple days ago? I'm confused. Like, why is it a difference this year?
It's taken 10.5 years. Yeah, I don't know. That is an interesting part I didn't think about, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like for them to not, I can't believe TNT is just like, no, like we don't need this revenue. We're okay with this. Or like Adam Silver rather is like, no, I'd like to pull this off the air.
Yeah,
that's probably the most popular weekday basketball game. TNT.
Yeah, so when I saw them on Tuesday the other night, I was like, oh, is this that players only bullshit that they tried a couple of years ago? Remember that when that was the worst product on TV basketball wise, when they would have fucking Dennis Scott and like I don't know, Chris Webber commentating games together. But yeah, I saw like the regular Thursday guys, like the Inside the NBA crew, Kevin Harlan calling the game, Ian Eagle, and I was like, what the fuck is this doing on a Tuesday? And I thought that they're going to twice a week, but yeah, apparently Adam Silver was like, no, we're getting killed on Thursdays, so let's switch it to Tuesday.
So who'd they get rid of? Like the show with like Dwayne Wade and like Candace Parker, whoever was on it?
I think so.
I'm okay with that actually.
Yeah, that I'm fine with.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good move. But yeah, Thursday nights just don't want any smoke with NFL. What are you gonna do? That's the thing. Like people, it is, but it's like as bad as those games are, I'm not surprised that they do probably smoke the NBA, especially this early in the season. I'll probably watch. Actually, tonight's game is pretty good, but most of them are like laugh out loud terrible. You see Monday night this week? What's a good one?
What was
Chiefs Giants coming up.
Yeah, I mean between fantasy football and betting, like the NFL will
that's true
reign supreme.
Yeah, good point.
But
that is
NBA
one thing.
Will never have that over them.
NBA is just never going to catch up in fantasy betting. Probably not either. But fantasy, I don't think. I would assume that fantasy basketball, like season-long fantasy basketball leagues, are pretty small. I'm not in. Not for us casuals. Have you ever done fantasy basketball, like a season-long league?
1 year.
I don't like it at all. It's so weird.
It was under Commissioner Leahy, so it may have been the year that you did it too.
God. Oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't check my lineup after 2 weeks.
Same.
I do remember that. I think I made the playoffs somehow. I think I had someone on my bench, like someone like laughably on my bench all year. It might have been like Steph Curry or someone like that.
Do you do the same thing where you like to like give your players rest, get a little load management so they don't get too tired during the regular season?
Or I'll bench them like for attitude adjustments, give them a nice healthy scratch.
Yep.
A nice old fully dressed DNP.
The best coaches, it's not about what's doing popular, it's about doing what's right.
Actually, they were talking about that on the radio too today. They're like, I would just bench Tatum and Brown the whole game, sit their ass, play someone else. I was like, this isn't high school. Like, if you do that, Jason Tatum is leaving. If he's a healthy scratch, he's going to Los Angeles the next morning and he's going to play for free. I understand he probably has to. Well, that's kind of what I'm afraid. Like after when he called him out in the Raptors game, I didn't mind it. So I was like, okay, now we have someone who's going to set these guys straight. But if he does this with every loss, that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna last very long.
Yeah, he said something about you're talking about the coach, right?
He said he
said something about Jaylen Brown last night, where they were like, "Isn't it kind of crazy how he's had some really really good games and come out with high energy, and then you compare it to last night's game and the game versus the Raptors, and he's like, yeah, I mean, all I can do is trying to give him the tools that he needs and help to kind of jumpstart him, but when you compare all those games together, it's mind-boggling that he could come out like this tonight because Jaylen was terrible last night.
Yeah, he stunk. Like they all fucking stink.
And then
the Wizards stink, and then the Celtics just look terrible. Hilarious play at halftime. Those missed layups on the other end. That was pretty good. They're laughing it up. Hilarious. We suck.
I don't like seeing Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroeder on the same court at the same time is very frustrating. That's the Spider-Man meme.
Oh, that blows. 100%.
That is too much of the same thing.
Get rid of fucking one of them. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's just I'm just praying Rob Williams stays healthy because I like watching him play. And again, like Tatum and Brown are fine. I think they'll be fine. But yeah, going back to I think I saw Cam and Taunton was who tweeted it today. Just like why are we still talking about like getting rid of? He might have said one or the other, or he might have said specifically Tatum, which I agree. I agree with. I feel it's weird, like going into a not so great situation and like people calling and saying like the no-brainer solution is just to eliminate your best player. There's got to be like stepping stones to get there. There's got to be another option.
There has to be other options.
Like we stink. We'll just get rid of our best player and then, ride this thing out. I guess that's why neither of us are NBA general managers that I know of on the record.
Not yet anyways.
You ready to move on?
Sure.
Sign off and call an episode. Let's talk some horror movies. So this is what we were trying to get into last time. We got a little distracted. I thought this was an interesting question. I'll let you go first because I know you always put a lot of time into these things. So we both are fans of horror movies. Some of our listeners are. Some of our listeners might have been in horror movies. Or just been involved in really horrifying situations. So if you're listening, appreciate you. What are I think we talked about like the best horror movie. Do you want to do best or worst first?
Let's do worst.
Okay. Worst
to first.
Sounds good. The worst horror movie to just get like dropped in on, like you just wake up and you're a part of it. I think we talked about this last year. To me, there's one no-brainer and then some others. I think Saw is probably the no-brainer. I would not like to wake up in a Saw scenario.
That was my first answer. Yeah.
I like what's kind of, to use Coach Udoka's term, mind-boggling to me is I would be there's so many emotions before I get to like critical thinking to get out of it. Like I'd be very confused. I'd be very scared. And there's probably a handful of other emotions before I get to like, okay, now we need to incorporate extreme critical thinking to get out of the scenario. I don't think I'd get that far. I don't think I'd get past confused. Like I'd be like, what is that? Why is this happening to me?
No, and no
Where
one
am I?
in the Saw series has ever like come out victorious. So
Yeah, spoiler alert, but true. Very, very rare. A lot of common L's in those movies.
not for lack of effort, but no one has won. Father
No,
Time and Jigsaw are
undefeated. And
undefeated.
Jigsaw, for sure. How far of those have you watched into? I've only seen like the first couple, I think.
Yeah, I've seen the
There's a
first
decent
three or
amount
four,
now.
and then I've seen sporadic, like one or two after that.
Did you see the one with Chris Rock?
No, I heard that was terrible.
I haven't heard that, but I assume that to be the case. Um,
Apparently,
I don't know what
Samuel L.
happened.
Jackson plays his dad in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, which there's not that big of an age difference between those two, actually. So,
Yeah,
which makes it funnier to
I
me.
wouldn't even know if I'd be able to confidently say who was older. I know Samuel L. Jackson, but can't be by more than 20 years.
No,
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that yet. So
that's why we're not in the movies.
yeah. But like it's just so weird to me. Like I would wake up and just be like, what? Like I'd probably say like what the fuck to myself, like no less than 20 times.
Yeah,
I've woken up times and I've just been really like, I don't know, you wake up like not feeling well, or you wake up and like you leave a light on or something. That probably takes a good like minute of processing. Like, did I leave this on last night? Did someone break in my house? What should I do? If I woke up with like a mask of like spikes tied around my neck and like a clock ticking and like a little clown on a tricycle pedaling around my hallway,
yeah.
it'd be a big adjustment to get to like, all right, how am I going to get out of this? So yeah, I wouldn't fare well there.
Were you the one that woke up at work with your ankle chained to the toilet?
No, that's another one of your coworkers. That'd be terrible.
I know that was I know that didn't happen at work. Was that just like a random bathroom, or where the hell was that?
What are you talking about? Me?
I think no. I think it was the first Saw movie with Carrie Ellis or whatever.
I don't know who that is, but the first Saw movie is the two guys just tied up in the bathroom.
Okay.
That's where Saw comes in. They had to saw their leg off. That's why they're called Saw. Yeah.
Oh,
and then great ending. That's the one where like it's Jigsaw the whole time. He's like the guy who they thought was dead.
Yeah, he's just an older guy, right?
He's an older guy, but it's like, and again, spoiler, this movie's like 20 years old. So Saw 1 is good. That's probably my favorite one. Saw 1's a great like premise. I just didn't see it becoming like 20 movies. So Saw 1 is the two guys who wake up in a bathroom, their feet like chained to a tub or something. And then there's a dead guy on the floor. He's dead the whole time. He just lays there dead. And they're going through all these things. And I think eventually one guy saws his foot off. One guy might have just killed himself. I don't know. But then the guy you think is dead just wakes up and it's Jigsaw. And he like pulls off a mask or something. And it's Jigsaw. And it kind of takes off from there. The second one I remember had more like Saw contraptions. It was like the people in that warehouse. And they each had to go through like I don't know, it was like a thing, like an obstacle course to get like to the next key, but they were all terrible. And they were like, they're kind of planned around like everyone had a vice. Remember, like the drug addict had to jump into like the thing of needles.
Yep.
That's the only one I remember. But yeah, Saw wouldn't be great. What else did you have on your list?
Blair Witch Project.
That'd be scary.
Because it's centered around camping and like
not a camping guy.
No, definitely not a camping guy. And then it's centered around like, well, they get lost in there. So I'm definitely not a good like scary directional guy.
That's an interesting thought. Like in 2021, getting lost is like impossible. Like lost without your phone is terrifying. Generally, I don't know. Even if I'm in my car, like taking a wrong turn and like having no service for GPS, I don't know what I would do. Go to a gas station and like ask for directions. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
I still remember going on trips with my parents and my dad, like actually using a fucking map. I don't understand how anyone did that because
no idea.
It's not like maps. You can't just fucking zoom in and like look at streets and shit.
It'd be like a map of the United States.
Yeah.
It'd be like following it across New Hampshire. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea how maps work.
Your coworker's house 20 minutes away.
Even like I remember like printing out MapQuest directions but there's no reroute. Like you have to nail it on the first try.
Oh God.
Or you're just lost. Like that's it.
Oh man, MapQuest directions was tough.
It was. You had to actually slow down and look at the street.
You also had to
west and east, and like it was just the whole thing. Nightmare.
You had to make sure that you were only traveling 7.2 miles and looking for a turn.
Yep. Oh, you missed the turn. It's game over. Wrong turn. Wrong turn. Call it a night. Yeah, maps. I'd like to get someone on the show who like use the map to travel decent distance, because I don't get it. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Going back to like asking the gas station person for directions, I wonder how that like became a thing. Like if that's like a prerequisite to work at a gas station. Like you have to be very, very good with like just giving any random person general directions.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you learn as you go? Yeah. Like also like I was gonna say how they're gonna check you, but they very well could just come back and like be pissed.
Yeah.
It's the one place they know how to get to. So you could really get yourself into a pickle if you kind of misguide or misdirect the wrong person. Like No Country for Old Men, like that guy at the gas station. Man, that's a great scene. That's one of the best. It really
came
down
to the flip of a coin.
That's a beautiful movie scene.
Yep.
That guy's cool. Javier Bardem's character. What's his name?
I thought you were going to say the employee.
He's cool too. He's probably my second. I think he's the second build character.
Don't sleep on him. He was
what's his name in the movie?
Supporting actor.
The bad guy? Jaguar? Something Jaguar?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, guy's so fucking cool. Great head of hair too. Great hair Jaguar, I think is what his full name was. One of the greatest like weapons in movie history too. That random like cattle. No. Like that cattle gun thing.
Oh,
he just steals in the first scene. Who else is in it? Oh, Woody Harrelson. He's the other guy in that movie, right? Great character.
Josh Brolin.
Yep, he's pretty good.
Not to be confused with Josh Donaldson.
Also pretty good. Great power hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Not
the
so
gun.
good,
the gun that Javier Bardem had. That did you see that tweet this week?
No. Oh God.
No. The guy who had like a cartoonishly large. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was a shotgun, and it was so big.
Oh, that holster, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, the holster went down to like his knee, and his belt that was holding the holster was like, like at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, that was odd. But no, I think going back to the movies, Saw would be terrible. I think I said, hold on, I put down a quick note. Where the heck did I put it? Just bear with me, please.
I don't have a choice, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I said, man, this is kind of embarrassing now that we're live on air. Oh, I guess this was more on I guess this is the worst one. Would you rather be in a situation like Scream or like, I don't know, Scream or like what's another, like Halloween, where it's like an actual like real person just going around like killing people, or something like The Conjuring or like Poltergeist, like with like supernatural like ghosts? Like which one do you think you would prefer? As in like which one do you think would be less scary?
That's really tough because I feel like at least with certain points, you know that you can escape the supernatural stuff. Like during the day, you're fine most of the time. Yeah,
I guess. I could also make the argument the other way around. Like I know as long as I stay away from this actual person, I'm good. With like supernatural stuff, you don't really know. Like Conjuring, like they follow you.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's more like paranormal activity. That really would be a thorn in my side, like living in a haunted house.
Yeah.
Especially one where it's like The Conjuring is just like from beginning to end, like every day I'm just getting haunted by these people. It might be worse if it was just like random, like you don't know when it's coming, but like Casper is going to do something like to really just kind of set you off. Like, I don't know, like unplug your phone in the middle of the night. So you wake up on like 2% thinking it would be charged. Yeah. That I would be like, come on, like
restart your internet during
friendly
an important work from home Zoom meeting.
Oh, geez. Yep. Something like that. Eat the last slice of pizza in the fridge, or like eat your leftovers that you're looking forward to coming home. I still think that's probably better than The Conjuring, who just like kill you,
Yeah.
like by the end of the day. But no, because I think I said I'd rather be in, because I had two trains of thought. So going into like what ones I would like to do, this is a big asterisk. But besides like the Murder on the Loose and Scream, that'd be fun to go back, just like hang out with your high school friends, go to a high school party. But there's that overarching dark cloud of like, there's a killer on the loose, like killing kids with a knife. So that's why I just don't care about the film. Like I like everything except like the killer. Everything else, like it's basically a comedy, like American Pie type movie outside of the killer. If it's paranormal and it's like ghosts, if I know like it couldn't kill me, I could probably learn to live with just like the annoyance of being haunted. Like if I know deep down it couldn't kill me. But does it get so bad you wish it could kill you because you just want to escape it? That's the bigger picture of these horror movies.
By the end, you're not even scared anymore. You're just annoyed to death.
It's like, just kill me. Like, just rip me from limb to limb. You actually like go online looking for towns with high like serial killers to move to and hope you cross their path. Yeah. Do you know anyone? Seriously question, like, do you know anyone or have you talked to anyone who's been like involved in like a ghost or like supernatural type of thing?
I don't. I thought you were going to ask if I knew anyone who had been serially killed.
I don't know that either.
Yeah.
Have there been any local around here? Like a serial killer in New England? Boston Strangler. That was back in like the old days, right? Like the
You could tell me that
period.
was in the 50s. You could also tell me that was in the 1800s. I had no idea.
When do you think it was?
I'm gonna say the I'll say the 50s, 1950s.
Not to be confused with the Scranton Strangler. Oh wow, Boston Strangler is a name given to the murder of 13 women in Boston area during the early 1960s. I must be thinking of something else.
Damn.
I'd be thinking of the bubonic plague. There's something going around like in the very old days. Oh man, that'd be it. That would seriously, that would be scary. Like coming home to the news every night, seeing like another like murderer in your town.
Yeah.
From the same guy or girl, excuse me, from the same person. That would be very, 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 very scary. Do you know about the Summer of Sam, Zodiac killer?
Oh yeah.
It's a great story in New York in like the 70s.
Yep.
Great serial killer.
It's definitely
the last
first
one, no?
ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer. He's up there.
Yep.
Trying to think, has there been one like turn of the century?
I don't think
so, right?
Serial killers definitely have to be so pissed, like ones that are looking to make a name for themselves, just because now, like, it's hard to be a serial killer since there's just random acts of violence all the time covered by the news anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I know what I was thinking of, by the way. I was thinking of Jack the Ripper. That was 18. That's still later than I thought, 1888.
What a son of a bitch that guy was.
Well, this guy might be fraudulent. So this is Wikipedia. Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer active in the largely impoverished areas in and around the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. The killer was called the Whitechapel Murderer in Leather Apron. Leather Apron's a pretty fire name, like. But here's the stat. Here's the back of his baseball card. Born, unknown. Motive, unknown. Details, unknown. Date, 1888 to 1891 with a question mark. And then locations thought to be Whitechapel and Spitalfields, London, England. That's a lot of unknowns for a pretty famous serial killer.
That does sound like news of the fake variety.
That's, oh boy.
Who wrote that article?
Which
CNN?
Yeah, someone on the lamestream media. I think Jack the Ripper is just an old wives' tale turned to life.
That's another classic case of the libs just taking, it's fear mongering, first of all.
Literally, yeah.
And
sure
then, just taking another casual incident and turning it into the boogeyman. They love to do that.
Do you think cereal sales go down during a time of a serial killer on the loose. Maybe people are like, I don't want to jinx myself.
The stock of General Mills just plummets.
General Mills is in the poorhouse until we get this guy behind bars. I thought about the same thing last year during when this is how long this has been going on. When's the last time you heard coronavirus? I feel like I haven't heard the term coronavirus in like years.
Yeah.
It's COVID.
Been a long time.
But back when it was coronavirus, I meant to look this up, how the sales of like Corona beer went. Because I figured they could go one of two ways. People won't buy it or people will buy more of it, ironically.
I thought that it went down, and I feel like Corona definitely like paid off the CDC to be like, stop using that.
Good point.
You're killing the sales.
Yeah, we kind of have this trademarked. So cease and desist. Yeah, very good point. Well, I think Clay Travis still uses the term Corona Bros when describing people. So that's pretty much the last time I've heard it. Okay, cool. Any other takes on the movie stuff we're talking about?
There's one other cool terrible one that I'd hate to be in. Have you seen the movie The Descent?
Oh, yes. Good one. That would be terrible. I would drown myself.
Yeah.
That is terrible. That's when they just fall into like a cave pretty much, right?
Yeah. So for two reasons.
Boy, that's a great movie. Go ahead.
The demons are terrifying. You can't see them. Yep. And if you do have a chance of escaping, you're in a fucking cave. And like anytime that I see people going, like, I think it's called like spelunking, something like that. I don't know if that's a medical term, but you'll see it in the movie.
I know
like
what you mean.
The crevices and shit are so small. That's already enough to give me like claustrophobia. And then I also have to be like running away from fucking ghouls in the middle of it.
What did those things end up being? They were like supernatural, like it wasn't like real. It was like supernatural something, right? They were actually like demons. So. Was part of it? No. Like I'm trying to think. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but I know it is a great horror movie. Was part of it like the cave had something to do with hell? Like it was like a portal to hell or something?
I think so.
Maybe.
Now you got me second guessing if they were demons or if they were some sort of human that just hadn't seen the light of day for like hundreds of years.
Let me see. I'm actually gonna call The Descent 2005. Jeez. Is that right? Wow.
Dude, the way that movie starts is pretty terrifying with the spear through the windshield. Like the opening scene, I think is the main characters. The main character and her husband or whatever are driving to that place. They get into a car accident and he gets like basically speared through the head through the windshield. Not the best way to go.
Yeah. I remember the end had a jump scare, right? Remember the very end when she gets in her car? Like one of them gets out. I do. One of them gets out. I think it was one of the women, and she gets in her car and then like looks out her window and it's like one of the guys, like just like classic jump scare. Yeah, that's a great movie. And I think I just looked it up. They were like, they called them crawlers in the movie, but I think they were like demons or something. But that was a good movie too, because it's like, even before those guys showed up, that's still a scare. Like being lost in a cave is scary.
Yeah.
Like that would have been I'd been fine if that was a horror movie. And then they sprinkle on top, to your point, like you also have to outrun creatures that are going to kill you in the pitch black. Definitely no service down there.
People who like cave diving, splunking, whatever the fuck it's called, those people are crazy.
Yeah, deep sea too. Like people diving into the deep ocean is very scary.
Yeah.
So that'd be movies like I guess like Jaws. Have you seen there's been a couple good shark movies.
Titanic.
Yeah. Have you seen the one with Blake Lively? It's called it's very good. It's called not Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's called like Shore, something Shore.
Sister Act.
Shore. No. Have you seen Sister Act?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I haven't. Are they funny?
Not scary. Not
as
scary at all.
As you think? No. It's called The Shallows, the Blake Lively movie. It's dope.
I remember ESPN was pumping the shit out of that movie during that summer.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I don't remember too many details. I remember the basis of the movie is that Blake Lively goes to like, somewhere to go surfing, goes out, comes up across a rock, like a shallow rock out in the middle of the ocean. Not too far, probably like, I don't know, we'll call it like a football field's length from the shore. She's out there by herself, but then like a shark catches up to her. And like just literally, it's one of those movies where like nothing, really not much happens, but it's still good because you figure out how she gets out. And this is terrifying, like being out on a rock and just having a shark like circle around the rock.
Ugh.
Like that's terrifying. Like what are you gonna? I forget what happens, but like very scary. And then there's another one with Mandy Moore. I think it's called like 42 Meters Down. Have you seen that?
Damn, that's far. No, I haven't seen that.
Great movie. I really enjoyed it. Big plot twist. About like 2/4 of the way in. I'm not going to say it, but up until that plot twist, the movie's it's not like stupid. Like you find out like it's actually in space the whole time or something, but it is a good movie.
A plot twist about 30 meters down into the 42.
About there. Yeah. No, it's sick. It's basically one of those things you see. This is another psycho thing people do. Like they go in those cages and just get dropped down into the ocean to like watch sharks.
That one I'd say is the least scary.
I wouldn't trust that. I don't know.
Don't trust the cage.
Watch this movie first.
Okay.
Basically what happens is like the chain gets like snapped and their cage like drops down.
Oh.
Approximately 42 meters down.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's great movie. Very scary. And then there's Jaws. Jaws is the OG. Do you like Jaws?
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's
Good movie.
a great movie. That's like a great movie. I bet everyone in our age group's dad really likes that movie. Did you grow up with like your parents saying like, this is a very scary movie? And like they mention it every time you go to the beach or like go swimming?
No, actually not.
I did. I actually
In
watched
reference
something.
to Jaws?
Yeah. There was this really good show I watched a while ago. It was on E. No, excuse me. It was on AMC, American Movie Channel. And it was probably 10 years ago. It was like the 100 scariest movie moments, like countdown type of show. Really good. Jaws was number one. They had Jaws number one. And listening to the people on it, they kind of talked about like the phenomenon of like when Jaws came out, like people didn't go to the beach for like years. Like they were just not, it just wasn't happening. It kind of shows like how, I guess like how limited like media was back then. Like this movie came out about a shark, a clearly fake shark, and like people just didn't go to the beach because they thought like that fucking movie was gonna happen in real life in like Hampton Beach, like in New Hampshire.
Weir's Beach.
So it was interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Really good movie. The sequels all kind of stunk, but Jaws 1 is a really good film. So, that I guess same note would be Jurassic. Do you consider Jurassic Park a horror movie?
I didn't. I feel like that's like more fantasy or sci-fi.
Oh God, are you gonna go on one of your "I don't believe in dinosaur" rants? I don't believe in evolution.
Don't make me bring out the New Testament.
Yeah,
I got a new copy. And I've been waiting to use that to disprove some of your theories.
Yeah. So similar to my Scream take, this is a big asterisk, but outside the dinosaurs getting loose, Jurassic Park would be really cool, I think. It'd be really fun to go there. It's a zoo of dinosaurs. That would be lit. Have you been to Jurassic Park at Universal Studios?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. I'm going next week, actually. It's really cool. Have you seen the Jurassic Worlds? The newer ones with Chris Pratt?
No, I haven't.
You like those movies? Jurassic Park? Have you seen them?
I've seen the originals. I haven't seen the Chris Pratt ones.
They're okay. They're a little capitalism 101. They're a little overdone, I think. To be honest, to be perfectly honest with you.
Do they ride the dinosaurs in any of the Jurassic Parks? I'm being serious. They do.
The new one. Yeah, they ride the raptors.
Okay.
They're like pets in like the new one. It's a weird dynamic. But yeah, they ride the dinosaurs. like fucking like tauntauns.
Like they're ostriches.
Yeah, seriously. Like Mario riding Yoshi around town. They just hop on and go. So that's all I got for the movies. Did you have any other takes on some of the horror movie stuff?
I have one that I wouldn't mind being dropped into.
Sure, please.
The DB is gonna hate this.
Oh,
Any of the
God.
Halloween movies, I think I could kick the shit out of Michael Myers.
Yeah, he's a fraud. I don't know. I've seen enough of him.
He's a P word if I've ever seen one.
He is just a regular guy, right? That's what I've never understood about those movies.
Apparently, we're gonna find out that he
mental
isn't.
Oh, and the new one?
Yeah, so he is human, but apparently he's, I don't know, he studied or got close with like something evil, something supernatural, perhaps.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
know. I know this is going down a big pharma path. I don't really want to get into right now. To be perfectly, I'm just so tired of it. But no, the original movie, he was just a little kid who saw like his sister get dressed, right? And then they put him into a mental institution, and he got out like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And now he's invincible. 50 years later. I feel like, I don't know. Like all these movies could be squashed if someone just shot him with a gun. No?
They've tried that.
That's what I mean. That's what I don't understand. So like he's not human.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fair.
Or he has
it's not
just
right.
a hell of an immune system.
And then anyone who thinks like you said, the Jaws thing, like people get afraid. That's not what happens if you get put into a mental institution.
No.
And also mental institutions don't even exist anymore. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they're at capacity at Alcatraz anymore or Arkham Asylum.
But yeah, that one, I think I said this in the group chat. Michael Myers never runs, and people can never
he's
get away from him.
incredibly immobile.
Yeah, he just walks after you.
The first movie takes place between two houses across the street from each other, and it's an hour and a half worth of content. He's not very fleet of foot. He's like, it's like those pictures like Ben Roethlisberger at practice with like two ice packs on his shoulder and like taped up all along his leg. Yeah, I'm not afraid of Michael Myers. Another way to look at the question, like who would you feel comfortable taking if you were just dropped into a town and had to survive him? Like Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger, all those guys. I think it's Michael Myers comfortably. Yeah. I'd be like, all right, like I'm going to, if a gunshot won't kill him, you'll either have to like decapitate him or like literally like remove his heart from his body.
Yeah, I'm confident that I could at least stay away from him.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever think about like if movies happened, like what the repercussions would be in real life? It's kind of like going back. Remember that it was going viral, like if like the Avengers was real life, like what would like there's all this property damage like nonstop from these people.
Yeah.
Like what would happen if like I called the cops and was like I'm in The Conjuring and I call the police. Like there's literally ghosts in my house like killing my family. Like where do you guys want to start? How fast can you guys get here?
Oh man, they would ask so many questions. Like
you're right.
You'd be dead before they got there.
Oh God, you wouldn't be able to get off the phone. But even just like a murderer, like again, there are like murderers, but like a serial killer around town, like a scary serial killer around town.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching that on the news, that would be so scary. Like just watching the news, seeing like Michael Myers a few towns over from you. Let's pray it never happens.
Guy in a crazy ass mask, holding an axe or a knife.
Yeah. So that's a good segue. Let's quickly transition from Michael Myers to Nelson Mandela, if you wanted to hit on that for a little bit. So you brought this up before. When did you hear about this, the Mandela effect?
A couple weeks ago.
For the first time?
I had heard of it and never known what it was. A couple weeks ago was when someone explained it to me.
It's pretty weird. I don't know. How would you like describe it?
It's just a phenomenon where somehow a lot of people at the same time, like I'm talking like millions of people around the world, have the same misconceptions about well-known events. Common
things. I agree. And like I sent you that list. It's like 40 of them. A lot of them are just, I think a lot of them are just things that people thought they knew that they didn't. Like common things that like, I just didn't know the correct answer to this. Like a lot of the ones with like the food labels and stuff, like basically like, for example, Well, I guess we'll start with Nelson Mandela. While it's called the Mandela effect, I'm going to read this right from the article. It's like, let's start with the reason we're all here. Nelson Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2013. However, countless people distinctly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s. But his death isn't the only example of a Mandela effect. We've been wrong about so many dates, details, and more. Keep going for more commonly misremembered moments in history. I don't know if I thought Nelson Mandela died a long time ago.
Yeah, that I wasn't sure about.
I think one that should be here that you and I know have talked about is Pablo Picasso. That's still one of the most mind-bending ones to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, before looking at that, and I know we've talked about this in the show, I would say a wide majority of people assumed he lived in like the 1600s, like whatever like peak art was, like Renaissance period art. I forget he died in like what, the 70s or like the 80s.
Yeah. He lived to see the Celtics win 8 out of 9 titles.
Yeah.
He heard Elvis's greatest hits live.
He saw Havlicek seal the ball live, the Garden.
Big fan of the Ed Sullivan Show and American Bandstand.
Like he could have been a character on that 70s show. Like Red Foreman could have like read an article about Nelson Mandela, about Pablo Picasso.
Mm-hmm. I think part of it is his name. His name is so like,
old name
to me. Yeah,
cool name.
I was like, gotta be 1600s.
Way too cool of a name for the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Picasso is a fire name alert. So that's basically how it works. I thought, what were some of the more interesting ones you thought? I'm going through. There were a couple that really stood out to me. I thought were bizarre.
So I'm going through and I haven't seen the one that I was expecting. The one about Sinbad.
Yeah, that's there. It's towards the end.
It is.
I think that's like one of the more common ones among people. I think it's a generational thing too. Like I think people like millennials probably have similar ones. Whatever generation, Gen Z, whatever, probably has similar ones. Boomers probably have similar ones. But talking for like millennials, there was 100% a Sinbad movie in the early 90s where he played a genie.
There has to be.
I watched it. Like, I know I rented it. I was talking to my sister about to say, like, I know for a fact I rented that movie and watched it.
Well,
and
the
just,
other part
puts
of
my mind in a pretzel when they say that just didn't happen.
I'm not convinced because the other part of the Mandela effect theory is that people have then, knowing this theory exists, gone out of their way to correct things on the internet to make you believe that you were wrong.
I think that's a big part of it too. I think maybe not that, but like, for example, I just scrolled past one, number 2, the Jif label, the peanut butter.
Yeah.
So it's like people swear there was a Jiffy peanut butter back in the day, but we speculate they're combining Jif with its competitor Skippy. That's fine. But like, if you look at these labels, I don't know if I ever thought that, but now that I see it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I did think that was something back in the day. I think that's common with a lot of them. There were a couple I saw that I did know, like Looney Tunes is a good one. I always knew it was Looney Tunes, Tunes, because I thought Looney Tunes originally, it was like very like music based. Like these guys were like singing like show tunes. The other one was Fruit Loops. If you don't know Fruit Loops is spelled F-R-O-O-T, then you've probably just never eaten Fruit Loops, because that's what the cover looks like. It's 2 Fruit Loops is the O's, right?
Yeah.
That was one where it's like a lot of people think it's spelled fruit the natural way. No, of course not. That's an example of like you just might not know something, or you might have been like wrong about something. There was one I saw the other one I see people talk about a lot is the Berenstain Bears one. I don't really remember. Did you read those books?
Yeah, I don't remember even considering that.
I'd never really paid attention to how they spelled their last name. But those books were awesome. Those were really cool. Curious George's tail was never there. Curious George has never had a tail. That's one where it's like, I don't like just close my eyes and picture Curious George enough to really know. You know what I mean? Like now that I look at it with a tail, it makes me think like, oh yeah, like maybe that is what I thought. But I haven't thought about Curious George in probably like 2 weeks. So it's not really something I look at that much.
I was going to say spoilers, a couple hours.
I'm not caught up on the most recent season. Yeah. I know when I stopped watching, it was right when like the man in the big yellow hat got shot going back to his car and was being rushed to the emergency room. I haven't kept up to see what happened since. So please.
You don't want to know.
Oh, that's not great. Yeah, here's the Fruit Loops one. There's another. Here, I think this one might resonate. You see number 12? It's the one about the Monopoly man and his monocle.
Let's see. Yep.
How'd you feel about that one?
So he did or did not have one?
Doesn't have one.
Wow.
So here's the thing. So the Monopoly man in real life doesn't have a monocle. It's on this list because I think it says a lot of people believe he does. I thought that was like a well-known thing. Like, don't people say like don't people dress up as the Monopoly man with a monocle? Or like if someone in a movie has a monocle. Yeah, but like if someone has a monocle, that's like the go-to joke.
Right.
Like, hey, Monopoly man, like, what's up? you know, like that's definitely happened in like movies or like comedy skits. And here's the theory. A simple theory might be a simple confusion between him and the Planters Peanut Company's mascot, Mr. Peanut. That's fair. He definitely has a monocle, but growing up, there's been a connection between Monopoly Man and a monocle. That's just a fact.
For sure.
I think everyone would agree with that. It turns out to be Big Cap, but I think it's a fact.
There's got to be another animation of him where he's not doing like this pose right here where he's running and he's actually got a monocle.
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. This one really got me. Number 15, Fruit of the Loom logo.
Yep.
Let me put that up. If you're watching on YouTube, this would be a good clip too. You can't really see. I'll clip in the notes. I've been wearing Fruit of the Loom underwear throughout my life, here and there. I know for a fact they have that cornucopia in the logo. I always thought they did. Apparently they don't. This probably isn't the greatest thing to do over an audio podcast, but if you're picturing this, picture the Fruit of the Loom logo. Just Google it. I guess it doesn't have that cornucopia thing. But again, that goes back to what I was saying. Like maybe I just think that because I'm looking at it and it's telling me this is what I should think. There's got to be some deeper like psychological things to this study or this theory.
Yeah, I feel like if they did this list and you could sort of like cover one side of it and just only show me the correct one, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's exactly how it looks. But then you show me both and then I get confused.
100%. And then there's a lot here that are just movie lines that people think are one thing, but they're the other. That's just not knowing the line. And that's just people, that's kind of like how stories got passed. Like you hear it from someone, okay, I guess that's what it is. And then it just kind of snowballs from there. Like the one they have here, Forrest Gump. But they say the quote everyone says is life is like a box of chocolates, when in reality, the line is life was like a box of chocolates. That's not a big enough difference to really mean anything in my life.
Yeah.
The Darth Vader one's interesting. I've heard that quite a bit, and I know it's because I'm a big Star Wars fan. But the famous line everyone quotes, right? Luke, I am your father. That's not it. It says, honestly, this was the one that cut deep. Perhaps the most famous movie line in history, that's debatable, wasn't even said. All he really said was, I am your father, which is correct. And I remember that scene vividly. I was actually a production assistant on that show. And I actually made that suggestion to George Lucas.
You were Vader's mask.
Correct. I was on masks way before it became cool to wear them. And then there's a couple other ones of those. There's two more I wanted to mention. Actually, this one I saw. This is the stupidest thing. This is the best. If you're looking at the list number 29, this is an example of just someone being stupid and just being corrected. It says number of U.S. states. The correct answer is 50, but some Americans, this is kind of a weird way to write it. I'm just reading here. They said, but some Americans and foreigners alike recall learning that there were 51 or 52. That's just something like you factually don't know.
Yeah.
Like you're just factually incorrect.
Yeah. You think that there's 50 plus Alaska and Hawaii.
Good point. Yeah, exactly. You're just an idiot. And then, here's the Sinbad one. I might clip this. Like, I'm curious to see how many people around our age remember a Sinbad genie movie And I know the argument here. Many argue they're confusing this memory with the movie Kazam starring Shaq. I know Kazam very well too. Like I grew up with two separate genie movies.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of also remember like a pirate Sinbad movie too.
Yeah, I feel like I
Sinbad
can
is a
just
pirate,
picture,
but
I think I could picture him dressing in something that a genie or a pirate might wear.
the really weird thing to come out from this, like if there was a bigger bust, like these things were erased from history, then it's like now you're just messing with us, and I don't care for it.
Again, that's another thing. That's another problem with today's society. People just trying to rewrite and erase history, things that didn't happen.
Here it is. Hold on, dude. Here, like, look at this. That's a picture from the movie.
Who is that?
Sinbad. Like, I've seen this movie. Hold on, let me just read this real quick. I'm not going to read it. It's like 5 pages. Hold on. I think it sounds Sinbad the Sailor Marathon. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, he did like some sort of show about he was like a pirate. And he kind of looked like a genie, I guess.
Okay.
I guess that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's just very strange. Have you seen Kazam with Shaq? I haven't actually seen it. Any good?
I'd recommend it. Still holds up.
Kazam and Steel, right? Steel was the other one. Right? I'm serious. He had a movie called Steel, no? Yeah. So very strange. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Google Mandela effect, see which ones you see if any of that really stick out to you. This is weird.
Some of these are really, really specific things that I don't.
Yeah.
I've never argued with anyone.
Right. Like some like the label stuff. Like I saw Kit Kat with the hyphen. That was actually I vaguely, that's the thing, like I've never thought of it till you make me think about it. So now you're just kind of like I said, there's got to be like a deeper psychological term for it, but like now you're just making me think of it. So I think that, but I've never thought that until you asked me to think about it. You know? What do you think?
I think I'm on board with you. I'm reading
okay.
some of the other ones, and these aren't things that I would have ever considered on my own.
Right.
I didn't know this one about the Lindbergh baby.
I never heard of that. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, really?
I don't know what that means. What is
it? I've heard the story. I didn't know that they sentenced the killer. Interesting.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen that.
It was just a pilot from the 1930s or so. Huh?
Oh, never mind. A pilot from the 30s?
Pilot from the 30s or so. His baby got, I guess, kind of kidnapped one night from his house. And I want to say that they found the remains later. And they weren't sure if like an animal got into the house or whatever. Yeah. And I know for a fact that on the documentary that I watched, and there's been plenty of them, I don't remember there being anything about actually finding the killer. So this is actually a good one.
Geez. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But no, we'll sign off here. One thing I did want to mention after we talked the other day, dude, I was grocery shopping on like Wednesday or the day after, and I grabbed some Halloween candy from the store for this weekend in case I get trick-or-treaters. Terrible idea. There's like none left. But I grabbed Reese's, Kit Kat, thanks to what we talked about. And I was going to choose either Milky Way or Snickers. I choose Snickers just because I've been getting a lot of feedback on the Milky Way thing. Snickers are pretty good. They're still a good candy. And they're in the fun size shape, so it's like easy enough to eat. I guess what I'm saying is like I'm trying to apologize to Big Snickers from last episode. It's a good product. They're both up there. Yeah. So it was kind of like an editorial fix to the last episode. Yeah.
There's a one that I forgot from last time is that little strawberry one. The strawberry designed wrapper too. I know.
Real good.
That's like synonymous with
candy.
Like older women having it in their candy jar.
Don't care. My kind of
at the barber shop. But that's a great candy.
Yep.
Oh, and those
are
butterscotch
terrific.
drops.
Terrific. Same packaging, same
Yep.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
Those strawberry ones are so good because it has like the chewy like center.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
nothing like a trip to Chewy Town on the center. Suck
you
a
ever had
little
that-
bit and then get a treat.
You ever had that with like cucumbers and a little bit of ranch?
Really good. Yeah.
Oh,
On a nice
boy.
like ciabatta roll. Very good. Classic like summertime lunch.
Yeah.
Remember when this is going back to like when we used to go to Saco. I remember Matt used to make like those Skittles like vodka drinks.
Oh,
Did you ever try
yes.
those? Those were so I think they were more nasty than good, but that was pretty cool. Pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Just soak Skittles in vodka overnight and then drink it.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of remember he used to do I guess they were almost like a flavored bomb or shot, and it would be like candy flavored. You drop it in and it doesn't taste like liquor at all. Did you ever have those?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hmm.
Sounds pretty cool. Remember when those Pinnacle flavors first came out? Pinnacle vodka? Like Pinnacle cotton candy and Swedish fish and
whipped cream.
Oh God. It's like candy flavored lighter fluid. Like $9.99. Oh, those were so bad.
Skittles flavored kerosene.
Yeah. The UV pink and like UV blue raspberry.
Yep.
Oh, not great. Everclear. 250% alcohol or 250 proof.
What was the one? Oh, the one that used to get mentioned in rap songs a lot was Hypnotic.
Oh yeah.
I never had that.
Had it? Nasty business.
Is that
thick bottle? Looks cool. It's like,
yeah.
It's that blue. It looks like a potion.
Yeah. Hypno for sure.
Yeah. For sure.
What
it
kind
does
of
look
liquor
like
is
a potion.
that even?
I don't know. That's a better question for our producer, Brian Leahy. He's the liquor guy. Maybe we can ask our friends at Cold River if they're going to get in the Hypnotic game.
Yeah.
Let's see.
If they're doing any retros.
Hypnotic is a 2021 American thriller from director Matt Angel and Suzanne Coote. That's not what I'm looking for.
No, not that one.
That's not it. Hypnotic. Here she is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's spelled with a Q. That's what's up. Dude, this shit's lit. It's from France. Of course it is. Oh, it's invented. It's from France, but it was invented on Long Island, New York. Explain that one to me. Another one of our
there we go
ideologies stolen from another country.
Yeah.
Love that for us.
Erasing our history.
What is this? How you should drink it. Chilled, straight, on the rocks with a mixer. So AKA doesn't matter. Blend of premium French vodka, fruit juices, and cognac. Oof, boy. Tough looks.
That sounds like a little stomach ache.
All the way around. Dude, this is dope. Look at this bottle. That's like baller status.
That bottle is so fucking cool.
That is pretty cool. What do we got for a liquor percentage on this puppy?
You look at it and you would think it tasted like cotton candy.
I wouldn't think it tastes like, like I picture like I pour it in a glass and like there's like the smoke like swirling around it coming out like a witch's cauldron. It's like the only way to drink it. I might get some Hypnotic this weekend. Have like a casual after work Hypnotic cocktail. Hypnotic on the rocks. I might order it next time I go to like dinner, like with my family.
I'm trying to think like when they mention it in rap songs, and they don't mention it anymore at all.
No, it's dead. I think it's been canceled.
There was a time when that was hot, and then it became what's Diddy's fucking Grey Goose?
Oh boy, no, Ciroc. Diddy was Ciroc.
Oh yeah.
Ciroc took the nation by storm.
Yeah.
Oh boy, was that big.
Ciroc Obama.
Oh man, that was huge. You showed up to a party with that, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I remember 50 Cent was big into Hypnotic. I remember he worked that into his lyrics a lot.
Yeah.
Luda was big, just I guess general cognac guy. Yak for short.
Yeah.
Hennessy was big.
Yep.
I think Nas was a big Hennessy guy. Nas might have a Hennessy or have a cognac drink. I can't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
That was a weird time when 50 Cent just went all in on vitamin water. like out of the blue, would release like back to back to back like gangster rap albums, and then was the poster child for a like fitness drink. And got like, I think that's when he's famous for saying that's like when he got like big. I think that's what I Get Money was based around. Like when he got his vitamin water contract. I'm serious. He mentions it in the lyrics multiple times. That's what's weird about like celebrity endorsements. Like the product is irrelevant. Like if you're a big enough celebrity and you have a product, it's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Like Ciroc is just vodka. Vitamin water is just fucking watered down Gatorade. You know, these aren't like groundbreaking like inventions.
Yeah, you could you can endorse whatever the hell you want.
They're buying the person. They're not buying the product. It's because 50 Cent is like the guy on this, so it's cool. Mm-hmm. Same with like Ciroc. And you also have equally famous friends who can like promote it with you. So
do you think if Tom Brady
So long story short, like Cold River, you're in good business here. We're gonna be taking off to the moon anytime now. So very good stuff.
Set your clocks.
Yeah. All right. What were you gonna say? Last thought before we hop off.
You think if Tom Brady endorsed like
wait, it's a tequila, doesn't he? No.
That's LeBron.
I thought he had an alcohol. Yeah.
I don't think Brady does alcohol yet.
Los Pollos Hermanos. Yeah, good point.
No, if Brady did,
I'm
trying to think of something like the most random like toenail clippers. Would you buy them? Tom Brady toenail clippers?
Probably have to. Like look at TB12 is just a bunch of like resistance bands and like medicine balls.
Yeah.
And they retail for like $89.99.
Couple protein shakes here and there
for $20. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's branded water bottles, medicine balls.
Put your name on some merch and list the price. People will buy it.
That's what a celebrity should start doing, is just endorsing random ass things. Like I'm just looking at things in front of me, endorsing like paper towel brands.
I mean, well, look at Shaq. Shaq literally made his generational wealth off doing literally just that.
Yeah, that's true.
He sees an insurance commercial. I think I'd like to be an insurance spokesperson. Pizza, yes.
May I put my name by this, sir?
Yes, please. Printers, why not? You name it, I'll endorse it. But all right. Well, happy Halloween from us. Hey, be safe this weekend, pal. I don't know if you have any plans.
You too. Watch out for those non-existent razors in kids' candy. That's actually a Mandela effect. Now I think about it.
No, I think that's more of an urban legend than a Mandela effect.
Yeah, because
a Mandela effect would be like if no one ever told us that, that was a thing. You know what I mean? Like if we're like, yeah, teachers used to tell us this all the time, and they actually didn't. That's not. Teachers did tell us that, and like parents did tell us that. It's just it
never existed in reality.
Yeah, at least not like as common as you'd think. Yeah. And that's a hilarious like visual too, like a Snickers bar with just like a razor blade sticking like through the middle of it. That's how I pictured it when I went there. And I never understood the logistics of like, I would bring home a clearly like factory sealed candy bar, and my mother would like check it, whatever the fuck that means. I was like, I don't think people in our neighborhood have the resources to like factory seal a Snickers bar after they open it and put like poison in it.
Hey, I'll go a step further. I can't imagine what
the motive is either, but
yeah, I'll go a step further. Even if I didn't have my parents checking my candy, if I opened up a Snickers and it ended up being a razor blade, I'd be able to stop myself short of trying to eat that. Hot take.
Yeah, like a visual of you just slowly like putting the razor blade candy in your mouth and your mom just running across and whacking it out of your hand. Or like a little kid just sorting their candy by like ones with razor blades and one without razor blades. Easy enough to do.
What is this? The fucking Peaky Blinders over here?
Jeez, another one. Another Kit Kat with a rusty nail inserted through it.
I never seen them do this with a Kit Kat bar before.
My God almighty. The frickin' the Seymours from next door almost got us again.
Neighbors are fucking ruthless.
Oh, the other big one was like homemade things. Like don't take like, which I guess I understand a little more. Like if someone made like homemade cookies or something. Yeah. That's a little more believable than, like I said, a commercially sealed candy bar with a weapon in it.
Yeah,
to
if I
give
come to
little
your house
kids.
and you're
That's like
handing
so
me a
brutal.
cookie, if someone's
Yeah.
handing me a cookie, I'm like, fuck you. I don't
It
want
means you're
cookies.
poor. Yeah, you're poor. You probably just whipped together whatever flour and sugar you had in the house and made these shitty cookies. Probably dog biscuits too. All right. Anyway, happy Halloween, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.